Achala Vismaya Loka, an amazing world of limitless fun. Brought to you by Achala Bharati Trust.
Children, I was narrating the story of Virata Parva. Parva means a story that happens in different layers and at different times. Like for example, when we go to Mysore from Bangalore or come back from Mysore to Bangalore, we on the way see so many bridges pass by, as well as so many gorges where we have to climb down and climb up and also stop and slow down before proceeding further. It is the same kind of thing that happens in Mahabharata also. There are different stages in the story that gives a pause before the story moves further. So when traveling from Bangalore to Mysore, you first get Kengeri, that is one stage, then it is Ramnagara. We call these as stops, and when reading great epics, we have to pass through similar stages. Virata Parva is one such stage. So the Pandavas in Mahabharata go into Ajnatavasa, or a phase where they must be incognito for 1 year, and they have to spend time like this for 1 year where no one will recognize them. Also successfully complete this phase with not much problems. But there is a small difference between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, and it is in how they follow the calendar. The Hindu calendar, that is 1 year in it, is not the year like an English calendar. Sometimes we get what we call Adhik Masa. By that Hindu calendar calculations, the Pandavas have passed 1 year of exile, but the Kaurava is not keeping the count of the calendar, and they are like, why should we count days or years? Let them do the work, is their attitude. So at the end, after the Pandavas end the exile, the Kauravas come to the kingdom to attack and surround the kingdom. The Kauravas, Karna, Dushyasana, Bhishma, Drona, all of them come together to attack. They take a large army and they come in the pretext of capturing the cattle in the kingdom. So this way, they can find out the presence of Pandavas in the kingdom. So this was the plan, to somehow or the other capture the Pandavas. So what this Kaurava does is he gathers a large army and heads to Virat Raja's kingdom. But at that time Virat Raja was not there in the kingdom. He will be fighting against another army the Kaurava had sent or attacked the kingdom. Virat Raja fights off that army and is victorious, but on this side the Kauravas had attacked again. So this is a big problem, and what should he do? But Virata's son Uttara Kumara, he is a great chatterbox and a loosely talking guy. He lies so much that there is no count to how much he lies. He is all self-praising and is a narcissist. Children, sometimes people think they're grown up like a tiger in their household, but when they come out and face the world, their true abilities will be revealed. That kind of person is Uttara Kumara. He is yapping that his charioteer is died and he is not going to war. Then his sister comes and advises about Bruhannale, who is Arjuna, to be his charioteer. Uttara Kumara is very happy and he heads to war. He takes a look at the Kauravas' army and runs in the opposite direction. He gets scared to death. He shivers and says, no, I cannot, and runs in the opposite direction. Then Arjuna convinces to be his charioteer and goes to war. So this Uttara would have asked them to take all the ornaments that the soldiers were wearing and bring them back to her. So Uttara Kumara, after fighting the war, takes all the ornaments and returns. Arjuna says to Uttara Kumara, just now do not say all the truth, but just say that you actually won the war. To the people in the kingdom, Uttara Kumara is surprised by Arjuna's talk and is wondering why he is crediting the win. He does not have the face and actually lost the war, so he is thinking how to tell that he won the war, why lie? This happens on one day. Then the next day, the Pandavas come to a conclusion that their Ajnatavasa has ended and that they are going to tell everybody that they are the true Pandavas. So the next day before dawn, they all take a bath, clean up and wear the king's and princess clothes and go to reveal themselves. Dharmaraya is the ruling king or the emperor, and They all come to the assembly, but there will be nobody in the king's assembly. There will be thrones of kings, and that will be Virat Raja's throne. Now no one comes to know it was Kankabhatta. Now he has adorned himself in a king's suit. Then Virat Raja comes to see and to inquire what's happening. When he comes to see and comes to know the truth, so Virat Raja comes to the assembly and someone is sitting there on the throne. Virata asks, why all this? Who are you all? Then Uttara comes and announces to everybody in the hall. He says, don't worry, all these people are Pandavas. The Kankabhatta who was with you, he is the great Dharmaraya. The one working in the kitchen as a head is Bhima. Uttare's teacher is Arjuna. That Shailendri is Draupadi. The people who were overseeing the horses and cattle are Nakula and Sahadeva. All these people are Pandavas. They wanted to spend their time in Agnatavasa. So they came to our kingdom. So upon hearing this news, Virata goes very low and says, what is this? We've used these people as slaves and workers in our kingdom. I put these people to work. This man is the emperor and he is the one who did the Rajasuya Yagna and I have made him work in our kingdom. Virata is very saddened and sick that this happened under his rule. He falls at the feet of Dharmaraya and asks for forgiveness. He says, I want to be here and I want to give away the throne to you. He says, I will give away my kingdom to you and name you the emperor. Children, you must understand that this is not a big mistake made by Virata, but it is his reaction with respect to the Pandavas and he respects them. But he still asks for forgiveness and at last he says, I want to give my daughter in marriage with Arjuna. Arjuna replies that I was only a teacher and I did not see her anything other than a daughter to me, as a child to me. Therefore, I cannot say yes to this plan of yours. Arjuna says, if you all need, you can give my son in marriage. That is Abhimanyu, who is a great valour. Arjuna's son, he was living with his mother. He is in Krishna's home. So they decide to give Virata's daughter in marriage with Abhimanyu. He sends a letter to Krishna. I told you all about it before. In the letter he says, Krishna, you must come to the wedding. We have finished our Agnatavasa. Now we are inviting you to come and attend this marriage. This wedding is only a pretext, but the real reason is we want you to grace us with your presence. We want to see you and fall to your feet. So please come. And so Krishna is very happy and he brings everybody. He brings Balrama, Ugrasena, Vasudeva, all of them come to the wedding. The marriage takes place very well and Krishna has brought everyone together and they are all happy. Krishna introduces everyone to each other and they are all very elated. The next day assembly takes place and the discussion is what will happen next now that the Kauravas must give back the kingdom to the Pandavas. But they have not talked about this at all. The Kauravas are still counting the years and they don't realize that 12 years are already completed and upon that 1 year also has been completed. So they discuss how to get the kingdom back. So they call a meeting and Virata Raja brings kings from the neighboring kingdoms also for this discussion. Krishna talks in the assembly and says, look, in the past Dharmaraya played the game of dice, lost the kingdom. He went to forest, roamed the forest. He was also in exile, wearing different disguises. Pandavas have gone through a lot of bad time. We have to work towards getting their kingdom back from the Kauravas. Now we have to ask the Kaurava, but we do not know what he will say. Therefore, we have to send the right people to do this work. These people are called heralders or people who tell the news. We will decide on a representative from our side and he will go to the Kaurava's side and ask. And we will come to know what is in the mind of the Kauravas. If he does not want to give the kingdom, then we must be ready for a war. Krishna says this, but Balarama gets very mad. But actually, if you really read Kumaravyasa Bharata, Balarama actually likes the Kauravas. He wanted to give Subhadra in marriage to him, but somehow that was prevented. Balarama says, look, just don't do all this. He says, the Kaurava is not as bad as you all think. The Kaurava may not agree to this and may ask you all to play the game of dice. I don't see any fault in the Kauravas. Now, If someone in our party speaks opposite to our views, what should we do? That is the situation. At home, if our son or father comes and speaks against us, then we feel so difficult. Yadavas would have come. Sartaki is a very good character in Mahabharata. He is a very elderly person. He says to Balarama, Balarama, your talk is very nice. You say Kaurava may or may not give the kingdom. Are you on their side? He says in a very dark area, the bats are very happy because they can see in the dark. For everyone else, the place is dark, but the bats are happy. Balarama, you are liking the Kauravas. You are like the bats. Then Sartaki says, hey, look, Balarama, say something. Why should you take that seriously? Finishing that, the goal is to fight the Kauravas. Tell me what you think about it. The Kshatriyas have only two ways. One is sending a person to tell the news to Kaurava. Second is to fight a war. One is for peace and resolution, and the other is for war. So we will tell them, if you can return the kingdom, then that is the most happiest thing. Sartaki says this so very nicely, and we will see moving forward what happens next.